Thank you all for coming. I usually don't chat right away at the beginning of a concert. I usually start with a tune, a piece of music. I usually jump right in with a piece, but this concert needs a little bit more explaining. It needs a little bit more groundwork for you as the listeners, I think. This concert was built around, basically around music for gun violence, or in memory of victims of school shootings. And I knew that would be too heavy of a program to have on its own, so I needed a couple other pieces that would make it hopeful and uplifting. But I still thought it was a really important concert to have, and I'll talk more about that throughout the concert. It's going to be heavy, but allow yourself to go there. I think it will be a good experience for you. To start off the program, we're going to be doing an American Elegy. An American Elegy is above all an expression of hope. It was composed in memory of those who lost their lives at Columbine High School on April 20th, 1999, and to honor the survivors. It is offered as a tribute to their great strength and courage in the face of a terrible tragedy. I hope the work, this is from the composer, so when I say I hope the work can also serve as one reminder of how fragile and precious life is and how intimately connected we all are as human beings. The work begins at the bottom of the ensemble's register and ascends gradually to a heartfelt cry of hope. The main theme that follows, stated by the horns, reveals a more lyrical, serene side of the piece. A second theme, based on a simple repeated harmonic pattern, suggests yet another, more poignant mood. These three moods, hope, serenity, and sadness, become intertwined throughout the work, defining its complex expressive character. A four-part canon builds to a climactic quotation of the Columbine alma mater. The music recedes, and an offstage trumpet, technically two for ours, is heard, suggesting a celestial voice, a heavenly message. The full ensemble returns with a final exalted statement of the main theme. This is sort of a cornerstone in the band world, but it also is one of the first pieces I can remember commemorating the lives of school shooting victims, and kind of got the ball rolling for this concert. Carolyn, would you please come up? Carolyn, I have had the joy of, I've only been here for 2 years, but Carolyn has been such an incredible asset to the program, not only in the percussion section, but to be able to have her get to conduct and know that she's going to go out and be a future music educator. I have taught, I think this is my 13th or so year teaching college music educators, and I can say without a doubt that she is one of the best, if not the best, music educator I have ever worked with, and I am so excited for the band program that you will work with someday. It just melts my heart. So anyway, without further ado, an American Elegy conducted by Carolyn Mikel. One more round of applause for Carolyn. The next piece on the program is called Give Us This Day. The words Give Us This Day are, of course, from the Lord's Prayer. This is a note from the composer. But the inspiration for this music is Buddhist. I have recently read a book by the Vietnamese Buddhist monk Thich Nhat Hanh entitled For a Future to be Possible. His premise is that a future for the planet is only possible if individuals become deeply mindful of themselves, deeply connected to who they really are. While this is not a new idea, and something that is an ongoing struggle for everyone, in my estimation, it is the issue for world peace. For me, writing music and working with people to perform music are two of those points of deep mindfulness. Music makes the connection to reality, and by reality I mean a true awakeness and awareness. Give Us This Day gives us this very moment of awakeness and aware aliveness, so that we can build a future in the face of a most dangerous and difficult time. The music of the slower first movement is deeply searching, while that of the highly energized second movement is at times both joyful and sternly sober. The piece ends with a modal setting of the choral melody, Vater unser in Himmelreich, Our Father in Heaven. It's by the four-part version by Bach. This is really an extraordinary piece of music. It will go immediately on to the second movement, so you'll notice when we get to the second movement. I hope you enjoy Give Us This Day. How about that? I did want to make one particular shout out for that piece. Derek Colgraf left the trumpet section and played a really awesome piano part on that, and he did a great job. So a little round of applause for Derek. The next piece we are playing is called Into the Silent Land. And on December 14th, this is again a note from the composer for us. On December 14th, 2012, 20 children and 6 educators were killed by a gunman at Sandy Hook Elementary School in Sandy Hook, Connecticut. Having grown up in Sandy Hook, just a mile from the school, this is where I attended grades 3 through 5. For the past several years, I have thought about writing a piece of music that would reflect on this tragedy, but I have struggled to know where to start. Even after beginning to sketch out ideas for this piece, I felt unsure of where the piece should go and what it should communicate. In an effort to find a clearer sense of direction, I searched for poetry that reflected how I was feeling. When I came across Remember, a moving poem by Christina Rossetti, I found the direction I was looking for. Through the simple idea of remembering, not forgetting that this happened, not forgetting these children, not forgetting the grief of their families that their families must feel, I realized this is what I wanted and needed to communicate through music. The music incorporates elements of a funeral march as well as a lament. Using a descending tetrachord as a ground bass, the funeral march and the lament are combined early in the piece, and after the ground bass repeats and grows to a climax, the funeral march gradually fades and a more ethereal music emerges. This piece kind of broke me the first time I heard it, so I apologize ahead of time, but also not. I think music and art in general should be the thing that when words fail, it takes us and helps us explore those feelings that are really deep inside us that we have a hard time expressing. And I also didn't mean for this concert to be a political statement in any way. I'm not trying to stand on my soapbox, but there are things that I think we need to talk about, and sometimes it's not through words. Sometimes I think music helps us where words fail. And I think that we do these children and these educators a disservice by not putting some light on this and performing these works to showcase that this is a serious problem that we do have in this country, regardless of where you stand on any issue. We have a problem. And what I said in the program was this is supposed to be a concert of hope and healing, and I like to think about it as hope as an action word, not just as a thing that exists as a noun. It is really something that we should take out into the world. We can't just hope for this and just sit at home and do nothing. It really needs to be something that we think of as hope as an action. Secondly, this piece, all of our music is made real when we bring in the audience. And then all this hard work we've been doing gets to have some feedback. This piece has an extra element to it that helped us, I think, realize it a bit more. It involves a narrator. And I was very excited I'm the choir director at Coppertop Church, and I kept seeing this young boy up front reading out, and I thought, wait a second, he would be fantastic if we could get him to come and read the narration if he was okay with it. So, Max, would you come up and stand up here? Please give a round of applause for Max Vidovic. So he will be our reader. There's a poem partway through that was talked about in the program notes that he will read. And I think it's just really impactful. This piece is, I think, it's the newest piece on the program, and I really think it needs to be played more and just showcased to people because it's just really important, I think. So anyway, I hope you enjoy Into the Silent Land.
gone far away into the silent land. When you can no more hold me by the hand. Remember me when no more, day by day, you tell me of our future that you've planned. Only remember me, you understand. Remember me when I am gone away. Gone far away into the silent land.
Thank you, alumni and incoming freshmen. I hope you're excited about coming and joining this program. It's not all this heavy, I promise. There are some uplifting things, but really powerful piece, right? Just a really powerful piece. At this point in time, I want to do something that I really hate doing. Acknowledging that we actually have seniors in this program that are going to leave. That is not my favorite part. It is actually the worst part of the job because you get this really great thing going. You've already heard how great the band sounds, and you get this awesome thing going. It's a culmination of a lot of work on their part throughout the whole year and becoming a band. And then they wreck it by leaving and going off and having careers and lives and other things. But if you are a graduating senior, would you come up actually to the front and stand up here for a second? This is not how this is supposed to work. This is, again, it seems like a large group. That's why all of you freshmen who are coming in, you have to come in and replace a lot of people. This is such almost like a very difficult group to lose. It's always difficult to lose, but so many of these people have been such inspirations and such a huge part of the program. Carolyn, goodness sakes, I mean, from conducting to leading on the percussion section, invaluable. Rena, if you haven't seen her at every single production that you have had here, running everything back there from sound to everything, lights, whatever you need, she's always here to make sure that I can get the help I need specifically, and also laying it down on the tenor sax section. Michael, seriously, have any of you gotten actual tutored help in the writing center or anything with Michael? He lives in that room. I feel like every single time I walk by, he's in that space. But also, it was so cool to come in knowing I had a euphonium player, and actually I had 2 euphonium players in the band. I didn't even realize that was a thing. Mel, geez, from coming back and laying it down in the jazz section and doing basically whatever I could, noticing that Michael had left for student teaching this semester and was like, wait a second, you need a euphonium player in band. I'll come and do that with you. I'm like, gosh, everything. And trying almost every day to make me go and jump in the ice-cold water, which I'm not going to do. I'm sorry. Maybe later. Maybe one after school's out. Maybe in May sometime. Hold me to that. Good. Emma, not only an amazing flute player, but just kind of like a bright ray of sunshine to everyone she meets, and also really was instrumental in helping get the handbell program here started. Would do basically anything to make that happen. So just, again, another very difficult person to live. Aaliyah, who seriously was another person that was like, wait, hey, you need bass. I'll totally come and do that, and just kind of showed up and was doing all the bass stuff in there, and then came in jazz band until we had another bass player, and then they're like, well, you know what, okay, I'll just be here whenever you need, but then has done everything I needed with band, and it's just been fantastic to have the string bass in the section. Aaron is going to come back every year and play in the brass section for O Holy Night, for when we have the brass there. Aaron was there for all these people were here the first year. They've all been here longer than I have, in all fairness. But just, again, one of the wonders of having this section of being like, wow, I have 3 French horns when I got here. Some other bands, like big bands full of music majors, don't have this many French horns, and kind of has started hopefully what stays to be a thing. And Harper then continued to come. So like, hopefully there just kind of continues to be this like, always this many French horns, if not more. If I have too many, that's great. I think there is actually a French horn player coming next year, so it will continue. But seriously, from from Honor Band and road trips and whatever, it's just been a joy having you here, and you have to come back. So all of you, I do have a rose for you. Maybe whether you wanted a rose or not, you're all getting one. So thank you for everything, and you'll be missed, but you have to come back. You can't get away. You'll be immediately, they don't know this yet, maybe some of them do, but when you graduate, you immediately get added to my alumni list, and then I just like hound you and send out stuff constantly. So anyway, please give them all a round of applause for being amazing. The last tune on the program kind of evolved out of needing something, needing a balm, needing some kind of hope. Even though the last piece has snippets of hope, I needed something more actionable with hope, something more just uplifting. And Be Thou My Vision is another cornerstone in the band literature, specifically this arrangement by David Gillingham. I wanted to bring up something very interesting that I found in a podcast in the last couple of weeks. There was a podcast with 2 people specifically talk. They were asked a question about what are something you would change? What's something you would change in the world, like at all? And some of them said random silly things, but the 2 of them, and specifically 2 of them who are atheists, said they would change and make the entire world have empathy. You know, and they were saying when they were talking about who does empathy well, or who is an example of empathy out in the world. And there were these 2, I say atheists because they said specifically, and it struck me as interesting that both of them said, really genuine Christians show this kind of empathy the best, you know? And I just thought it was, regardless of whether or not you are Christian or not, or whatever faith you have, I just thought it was such a beautiful statement that these 2 people could acknowledge that out there in the world, people exemplifying that kind of actionable hope and that actionable kindness were Christians at their best. And I just thought that was a beautiful thing to get to acknowledge and get to say. And specifically with this piece being a hymn tune, or taken oftentimes as most famously known as a hymn tune. Many of you have probably heard the tune, Be Thou My Vision. But I kind of wanted it to be our actionable call to go out into the world and just lead by example and kindness and whatever you need, whatever else it might be. But thank you so much for coming to this program. Thank you for supporting all these people up on stage. They have worked very hard to do what they do. Among all the other degrees and assignments and papers and all the things that are coming to fruition right now. They are doing an amazing job, and it is truly a blessing and an honor to get to stand up in front of them and make music like this.